Hey everybody, I'm Doug, that's Connor, and you're listening to the longest running school district podcast in the southeast Puget Sound, or is it southwest? I can't remember. Doesn't matter. This is the Bethel School District Presents podcast, and we're glad you're here with us today. We have a very special guest joining us, Mike Sacamano, our Director of Arts and Curriculum Integration. Mike, thanks for being here.
Happy to join you.
Absolutely. Thank you, Mike. And as you know, as a loyal listener, this year we're starting out each show with a bit of useless trivia, so I'm going to put you right on the spot here. What's your useless trivia for the week, Mike?
All right, so I heard recently that Australia is actually wider than the moon.
That can't be true.
According to the European Space Agency, it is true. Australia's width is almost 4,000 kilometers, and the moon's diameter is just under 3,500.
That's not even close.
Oh, that'll put a shrimp on your Barbie.
Yeah. That was a truly useless piece of trivia, which is exactly what we wanted.
It's what the show's all about.
So now it's your turn. Can you beat it?
Well, it's possible. So there's only one state that you can type out on a keyboard all on one row of the keyboard. Any guesses which state that is?
Iowa.
Very good guess. Iowa actually has 3 on the top, 1 on the middle. The answer is Alaska. Alaska can all be typed out on the middle row. And that is my useless piece of trivia. The look on your face says it all.
Just my eyes glazing over with interest.
Well, let me add to it because, you know, I like to go long on these things. Alaska is one of only 8 states that can be spelled with only 4 letters. Let that sink in for a second because Alaska is more than 4 letters, but it's only 4 specific letters. A-L-S-N-K.
And source on this one, Doug. Cite your source.
I will. Reader's Digest is my source. Do you want to guess the state with the longest name that can be spelled with only 4 letters?
No, but Mike has his hand raised, so...
Only 4 letters, huh? The
Only 4
longest
letters.
state. Is it Mississippi?
It is Mississippi. 11 letters total, but only 4 of them M-I-S-N-P.
M-I-S-S-I-S-S-I-P-P-I.
No, it's M-I-S-S-I-S-S-I-P-P-I.
Okay.
We've argued about
Much
this
different.
before. All right, Connor, that's 2 pretty useless pieces of trivia going here. How about you? Let's round us out.
I think I might be able to top those. So the world's quietest room, which is at Microsoft's campus, is so silent you can hear your heartbeat, you can hear your lungs moving, you can hear the blood pumping in your veins. Microsoft scientists and engineers use the room to test equipment and study how sound behaves in a, quote, perfectly dead environment.
That's really weird. So your source is?
Source on that one is a CNN story where they were actually on the campus in the room. Is very fascinating.
That's really bizarre. I have tinnitus, so I don't think it would be silent for me.
They were saying that you go in there and even if you don't have tinnitus, your ears are immediately ringing. Like it's very disorienting. You fall over because you have like
You fall over?
like there's literally like if you're in there long enough, you just fall over because something about your equilibrium. It's like very disorienting and painful.
Why does the room exist?
They were using it to test electronic equipment to see that it seems like overkill. Like I feel like you could just test that in a normal quiet room, and then like scientific experiments on like, I guess to find out that it's painful. I don't know. I guess they just had money to throw around.
That is truly useless, but I do want to go get a tour. I think that would be interesting. I want to film you as you go in and start wobbling around in the quiet.
I say we do a podcast in there. We pitch the idea. The world's quietest podcast.
Falling over.
We do know how to make a room loud, that's for sure. Well, Mike, we've asked you here today not just to share your useless trivia with us, though that's been a fun conversation. Our district will have 2 levies up for renewal in 2026, pending board approval, of course. Now, these are levy renewals or replacements, if you will, of current levies. These won't be new taxes, but these levies are critical funding because Washington State does not fully fund public schools, and so they leave it to local voters to vote on what they think is important. For us, that represents 11% of our district's budget that falls under the Educational Programs and Operations Levy, and this is some critical funding for our district.
Absolutely critical must-have stuff. That levy supports safety and security, including our SROs. It supports special education, advanced placement in STEM classes, transportation, counselors, social workers, nurses, sports, maintenance, custodians, and many, many other positions that the state doesn't fully fund.
And another thing it funds is art and music. And Mike, that's where you come in. Besides the benefit of learning an instrument, what are students getting out of a robust school music program that they can take with them throughout their lives?
Well, the research is pretty clear about the multitude of benefits that students receive through participation in programs, that sense of belonging that we're striving for with all of our social emotional programs is really embodied in music education. There's a term in music education that you hear a lot of ensemble. It's bringing a group of people together, of unique voices, of unique talents, and with them together creating something that we can't create alone. So that sense of ensemble is a really important element of what students gain. There's also huge benefits to academic performance in other content areas. Music is a math. You look at a time signature in music and it's just a fraction, and rhythms are just subdivisions of a beat. Looking at a musical score is equivalent to looking at interpreting a scientific graph or data. A lot of our choral ensembles sing in various languages. So it really pulls together a lot of the learning that happens throughout the campus.
I love that. And that sense of belonging is so important. I was a music kid growing up, and even just going from middle school to high school, I knew I'd be in orchestra, and I knew I would know people in that particular class. And so that's a really important thing to give that sense of camaraderie, that sense of ensemble, like you said. And Connor, we've done stories before about student musicians that are also in sports, so they have kind of their hands in both of those areas. But for some kids, it's music, and that's where they excel.
And on top of that, a number of our students routinely earn college scholarships for their continued education, even if they're not planning on being a music major. So it just really illustrates this idea that the levy is the backbone supporting these programs, and these programs aren't extra. They're really what make a full, rich, well-rounded education.
Well said, and that's awesome. I hadn't even thought of scholarships as part of this, and that's really amazing and a great benefit for students moving forward.
And so, Mike, roughly how many students in our district are taking part in either music or arts programs?
Music and arts programs touch literally every single student. It's a graduation requirement in the state of Washington for high school students to have completed 2 credits of arts. And that can be revealed in a lot of different ways, whether it's visual arts or performing arts. There are various pathways depending on students' interests. And so that's a big part of what this levy does is it helps us provide a variety of classes and opportunities where students can plug in meaningful ways for them.
I love that. Where's a place where our community members, maybe people that aren't attached to a student, a parent's going to be at their kids' concerts, for a community member, where can they see this in action?
It's one of the greatest things that we as a district do. We have a variety of events. We just recently had ABC Day. There were different music ensembles that were performing, providing entertainment throughout the day. Coming up in January is our annual Technology and Art Fair, where we'll have 1,200 pieces of student art from our kindergartners all the way through our advanced placement students in high school, showcasing their talents. And then a little later this spring, we have a variety of music festivals, band, choir, and orchestra that are offered feeder patterns throughout the district. And so our schools are just alive with these programs throughout the year, and they are open to the community. It's what we do as artists, is we create art to share with others.
And as you mentioned, every single student in our district is touched by one of these programs. And for a lot of them, I would imagine it is just something that's a creative outlet. It's not something they're going to pursue as a career. But for a lot of our students, this is serious business.
Yeah, there's a variety of outlets, everything from that home concert that we share with the community to our music groups getting out into the world, whether that's performing regionally at the Washington State Fair, performing statewide. We routinely send multiple students to state competitions for solo and ensemble. And even nationally, we have ensembles that represent our district and what we value in music education at conferences throughout the country.
Yeah, that's awesome. We love seeing those stories, and it's so great for the kids. It's so great for our educators that are part of that, and we want to thank our voters for their support of that levy. It's been renewed every 4 years for decades now, and again, it's going to be back on the ballot pending board approval in 2026, so you can look for it then. And Mike Sacamano, thank you so much for joining us. Really appreciated having you here today.
My pleasure.
Well, thanks again to Mike Sacamano for joining us today. A really fun conversation. And Connor, I mentioned about being a music kid when I was in school, and that was really one of the things that kept me excited about going to school. And for some kids, things like arts, music, and especially sports are what keeps them coming to school. They want to be there, they want to be with the team, and it's a place where they feel success and excited and engaged. And we have a special message from one of our coaches we're going to play in just a minute, but it is football season, Connor. I know you're a big fan, and I just want you to ballpark it for me. See what I did there? Wrong sport, but decent metaphor. How many hours of football would you say that you have watched thus far?
Oh man, it's just getting started. But so what comes after cajillion? Because
quintillion, maybe?
I think I'm in the ballpark of that. I have been having a blast watching football. College, high school, pros, you name it.
Those are the three. Canadian?
I got to draw the line somewhere. No. I'm not doing Canadian.
Yeah, it's almost like learning a whole new sport. I mean, I know, and that's because I just looked this up on my phone while we're recording, that Canadian football field is longer and wider. They allow 12 players on the field, and there are 3 downs per possession.
And the coaches eat poutine on the sideline the whole game.
I'm back in. I want to coach for a Canadian football team, but instead, we're going to hear from one of our amazing coaches. Here is Jeff Logan from the GK Eagles with a special message.
Hey everybody, my name's Jeff Logan. I'm the head football coach here at Graham-Kapowsin High School. I grew up and went to school here, been coaching for 12 years. This is my 4th year as the head coach. I want to just start off by saying thank you for your continued support over the past couple of decades and helping us support and pass our levies. It's a crucial and an important part of what we do here at the school. It funds 11% of our budget year in and year out. And one of those things that's incorporated into those EP&O levy budgets is athletics. And obviously have been an athlete my entire life and gotten into the coaching world. I think athletics are extremely important to teach life lessons outside of high school. We're talking about punctuality. What does it look like to be a professional in the workplace? We've been extremely lucky and worked really hard to have some success on the field. So we hope to kind of continue that. But also we strive as a coaching staff, and really for myself, is how do we send our athletes off with life skills that are going to translate outside of high school? You know, sports are something that provide an opportunity to create memorable experiences. And a lot of the times people talk about memories are priceless. And so we want to be able to provide our athletes with those. We want to teach them the accountability standards of what it looks like to be an adult in life. We want to teach them leadership skills, teamwork skills, and those are all things that fall into the components of athletics. And one of the main reasons that we, along with our entire staff, are back here to continue coaching football and teaching quality young student athletes.
Well, thank you once again to our guests this week, Mike Sacamano and GK football coach Jeff Logan. We'll be back next week with a brand new episode.